Okay, so sit yourself on your lift. So we're all having a little bit of kind of tiredness because it's been hot and it's not, but we're not just not used to it in this country, are we? And it's difficult to sleep and a bit of stiffness as well. So let's just ease ourselves into our Monday. So feel that you're sitting evenly to start off with. Hold on to your knees and then just work to lift and open your chest, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Just feel how your body feels at this precise moment and feed your body with energy through the breath. Just listen to the sound of your breath as it enters and as it exits. Soften your jaw by drawing the lower teeth away from the upper teeth. Soften your tongue. And then notice that as you soften your tongue, you soften around the forehead and around the eyes. Soften in the throat. Take deep inhalations and deep exhalations, ensuring that the chest rises to accommodate the in-breath and lowers to accommodate the out-breath. Just look at something that doesn't move. Elevate the front chest a little more as you get used to sitting. Lifting the front chest, drawing the shoulders down away from the ears. And then release your knees, bring your hands into Namaste, press the palms firmly together, lift and open your chest. And with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close. Listen to the sound of the breath as it enters and as it exits. Observing how the body makes connection with the floor and how you lift out of the floor. Aim to roll onto the front edge of your seat bones. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in your heart area. And then release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open, focus to softly come back. Hold around your knees, lift and open the chest, drive your spine upwards. Take a good, strong, deep inhalation in through the nose. And then turn with the out breath, turn to the right side with the out breath. Drawing the abdomen across, the ribs across, the shoulders across. Just feeling your body's response to the pose, to the action of the pose. And then come back to the center, lift and open the chest, broaden the chest. And then turn to the left. And then come back to the center. Just swap the way that you're crossing your legs for a moment. And then we're going to do a bit of alternate nostril breathing, just to kind of give ourselves a bit of an oxygen injection to the brain. So if you remember alternate oxygen breathing, you hold so you do it with the right hand, you close the right nostril as you inhale, and then close that nostril as you exhale, and then you inhale through that same nostril, and you swap round, and then you exhale and inhale. So each time you exhale and you inhale through each alternate nostril. So we'll do around 10 of those, just to kind of give us a quick start. Be quite forceful with the breath as well. So that just helps you to kind of just really clear the sinuses as well. So just normal breathing to start off with. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And then just take a good deep inhalation. Then an exhalation. And cover the right nostril and take an inhalation, a sharp inhalation. Then cover the left and exhale and inhale through the right. And then swap. And then continue. And when you've done around 10, just release and just breathe normally. So maybe you notice a subtle change in your energy in the brain. There's a slight lift in your energy. So we can do that one more time. So another round of 10. So just give yourself a few just normal breaths in between. So just a normal inhalation, a normal exhalation, and then cover the nostril whenever you're ready. And then inhale. And then swap nostrils, exhale and inhale through the right, and then continue in that manner. And then when you've done your 10, come back to normal breathing for a few moments. And then just come off your lift, but rather than going into Adho Mukha Virasana, we're going to go into Supta Baddha Konasana with the bolster. So this will help to just gently lift and open your chest. So have some cushions or a bolster underneath your back. Bring your feet into Baddha Konasana and then lift the chest, drive the spine along bolster, and then rest your head. If your chin is higher than your forehead, then get your blanket and bring the blanket underneath your head, just to give you a little elevation of the head, so that you're not allowing the chin to get higher than the head, than the forehead. So the shape of the bolster gives the front chest a really good opening action. It can feel really nice in the hips. Obviously, you can put blocks underneath your thighs if it's too strong for your hips. Just spend some time just observing your breath. Just listen to the breath as it enters and as it exits. Feeling that you're breathing evenly into both lungs and evenly out of both lungs. If you want a little stretch in the shoulders, then elevate your arms up, interlock the fingers, turn the palms all the way up, so there's the palms face the ceiling, and then lengthen your arms along the bolster, extending your arms away from your head. So just continue to focus on breathing evenly into both lungs. Just listen to the sound of the breath. Observe that the lungs expand evenly. So observe from the expansion of the chest. Just release your arms, swap the interlock of your fingers, and then again extend your arms over your head. So if there's stiffness in your shoulders, then you can always put a block underneath your hands just to support the shoulders, but otherwise it's fine to just let them kind of hang in the air a little. So feeling the openness of the front chest and observing the evenness of the breath. and then release your arms. Just bring the hand back down onto the floor. Just feel the energy in the hands and in the wrists. And use your in-breath to distribute that energy into the upper arms, into the chest, into the head, and down into the legs. So warm weather yoga, because even though it's only about, well, I say only, I think it's about 20 degrees at the moment, so it's pretty warm for us, isn't it? But it's due to get into the 30s today, so we're just preparing ourselves by opening up our energy. Just by gently opening the body. Push your elbows into the floor and then lift yourself up into a seated position. And then sit back on your heels, come into Virasana. Big toes, your knees are together, your feet apart. So we're going to go into Supta Virasana. Now, this isn't everyone's cup of tea, but you get used to it eventually. If it really is, if it feels like kind of totally undoable for you, then do Supta Baddha Konasana again. Have your knees together and your feet apart. So knees are together. So bring your knees together, Ruth, and then have the feet apart. And then get your thumbs right into the back of the knee, and then encourage the back of the calf to draw away from the back of the calf, back of the knee, and roll out to the side. So you're just sitting. You might be able to sit all the way onto the floor, but maybe not. That's not important. So you don't want any support underneath the seat bones at this stage, because we're going to go back into onto our supports. So before you go back, I want you to really lift and open the chest, drive the spine upwards, bring the palms of the hands flat onto the floor, and then begin to bend your elbows so that you bring the elbows down, all the time lifting the chest. And then again, have a blanket for your head if your head rolls back. And then just see if you can just get used to Supta Virasana. So if it's strong in your lumbar, then pick up the buttock flesh and draw the buttock flesh towards the backs of the knees. So you lengthen the sacrum spine. If there's still discomfort in your back, then broaden the abdomen, draw the abdomen towards the spine, and then broaden the abdomen out to the abdominal walls. Just have your hands at the sides of the body for a moment. So one of the benefits of warmer weather is that maybe some poses like this feel a little more achievable. So just breathe evenly. Listen to the sound of the breath. So if this is totally undoable, do Supta Baddha Konasana, the pose we just did. Just listen to the sound of the breath. Breathing evenly into both lungs. So the first stage of any pranayama is stage 1 ujjayi, which is just the observation of the breath, drawing your attention into the breath. So Supta Virasana feels strong, doesn't it? And you might have to adjust the lifts underneath you. You might have to put some extra lifts underneath you. Or maybe you just do it without any lift. But using the lift helps to keep the chest lifted and open. Trying to keep your knees together. My knees always want to fall apart. Try and keep the knees together. Breathe evenly into both lungs. Again, if you want to stretch out your shoulders, reach up with your hand interlock the fingers, turn the palms all the way out, and then lengthen your arms along beyond your head. Again, if there's stiffness in your shoulders, you can put blocks underneath your hands. Otherwise, just see if you can extend your arms away from the body. Breathing evenly and deeply. Broadening the abdomen, drawing the abdomen towards the spine, lengthening the buttock flesh towards the knees to support the lumbar. Release your arms up to the ceiling, swap the interlock of the fingers if you're extending your arms, and then extend your arms over your head again. And then just release your arms, bring your arms to the sides of the body. So it's strong in the quads. Let's just let the quads stretch out. So just do, just being cross legs, Andrew, and just focus on drawing the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. So you can do another round of alternate nostril breathing if you want to, if you come up. Okay, we're all gonna come up in a moment. So just start to prepare yourself by pushing your elbows into the floor. When you come out of Supta Virasana, try not to poke your head forwards. Try and lift with the chest. So come up with the front chest and then come onto your knees. Now the legs will be a little reluctant to straighten to start off with. Just be on all fours for a moment. And then just swap yourself around so that your bolster is going to support your head. So if you've not got bolster, so you can just put cushions under your head, or you're going to use your bolster underneath your head. So just, we're going to do dog down, and we're going to support our heads with the bolster. So you might have to come in and out a few times just to get the kind of levels right. But turn your toes under. Your legs will be really reluctant to straighten after Supta Virasana, but just come up into dog down. Just feel how the legs kind of refresh themselves a little, and then find the right position for you so that you can so that you can rest the top of your head on your bolster or on your lift. Even you might need to put a blanket on top of the bolster. So try not to bend your elbows. We're not trying to put weight on your head. Keep your elbows straight. So you're just supporting your head. Just breathe evenly and deeply. Slowly begin to straighten the legs. We usually resist bringing heels down, but after Virasana, it feels nice to just stretch out the calves, bringing the heels down. We're not going to stay with the heels down. The biggest indication that you need to lift your heels is that when you bring your heels down, you get creases at between the ankle and the shin. So if you can see some creases, Then you need to lift your legs to try and lift your heels rather to try and eradicate those creases. Just bring your attention into your breath. Just Ujjayi stage 1. So Ujjayi pranayama stage 1 is just normal breathing. Let me read you the description in light on pranayama. So stage 1 is you breathe normally, consciously observe and feel the flow of breath throughout. As you breathe in, make sure that both lungs fill evenly. Feel the chest expand upwards and outwards. Synchronize the two movements. Breathe out quietly, emptying the lungs evenly on both sides. Correct it if the lungs move unevenly. So this makes you attentive, it invigorates your nerves, loosens hardness in the lungs, and prepares you for deep breathing. Adho Mukha Svanasana dog down is really good for focusing on your breath. So we're just focusing on even breathing. Breathing into both lungs evenly. Just listening to the sound of the breath. Observe that the in-breath sounds different to the out-breath. So if I'm holding you too long in dog down, then do Supta Baddha Konasana. Okay, and then, so everyone's come down, that's fine. Bring yourself out of Supta Baddha Konasana and then come up onto all fours. So we can do Rajakapatasana. So just come up onto all fours. And again, just focus on your breath. Just listen to the breath. And then bring your right knee to make contact with the right wrist, and then bring the right foot underneath the left hip. And then lengthen the right leg away. Just come up onto the fingertips and lift and open your chest. Drive in the front chest upwards. So if you remember what we were doing last week, we were focused on that bimetallic strip action. So make the front chest longer than the back chest. Feel that the hips are level. Tadasanarize that back leg. Turn the thigh, the frontal thigh inwards. Feel that the back of the thigh broadens outwards a little. Lift and open the chest. Just come down onto your elbows for a moment, just to rest. So breathe in evenly and deeply, just allowing the hip to kind of soften. Just have a little wriggle about in your hips, just to feel that the hips can kind of yield to the pose a little. So we can do that again, and this time you can either just stay at that first stage, or you can reach back and get hold of the back foot. I'll show you as we go. So it's quite strong to do it this way. So maybe you'll just want to kind of stay with the first stage. So bring your hands back, be up on the fingertips, and lengthen that left leg away. Extend the spine upwards. And then if you want to go a little further, lengthen the knee away from the hip with that back leg, and then bend the knee. And then reach back with the right hand, get hold of that left leg, push the foot into the hand into the foot. And then you'll notice that your chest wants to kind of turn to that left arm. Turn the left ribs around towards the right ribs. Lift and open the chest. Try and draw that right shoulder towards the front wall a little, so that you kind of even out the tension. And then gently release. And then again, come down onto your elbows. And then create a couple of fists for your hands. And then rest your head down on the fists. So this is the yin version of Rajakapatasana. So just see if you can soften into it. Releasing in the hips. Breathing evenly. Using the out breath to just soften into the pose. So it should probably feel strong in the hip. So push your out breath into the hip. And then lift your head. Bring your hands back to the first stage, just a really good lift and opening of the chest. And then bring the palms flat onto the floor, and then walk that left leg back in, and then come back to the center. Just be on all fours, just have a little swing of the hips, just to let the hips recover a little. So it's quite an intense pose, isn't it? If you can focus on breathing within the pose, then the pose becomes a little more gentle. Bring your left knee to make contact with the left wrist. Bring the left foot out so that it's underneath the right hip, and then lengthen that right leg away. So you should still feel the last pose in that back leg. So this is a good opportunity to stretch out that hip. So tadasanarize that back leg, turn the front thigh inwards, the back of the thigh outwards. Lift and open the chest, broaden the chest. Lengthen the chin up towards the ceiling if there's no problem with your neck. Keep the shoulders down away from your ears. Keep that front chest long, the back chest descending like that waterfall action. And then just come down onto your elbows, just settle into it a little. And we'll do the second stage if that feels right for you. If it doesn't, then either stay here or do the first stage again. Just have a little swing in the hips just to kind of ease out the tension. And then come back up onto your fingertips, lengthen into the chest, lengthen into that back leg, lengthen from the hip into the knee of that back leg, and then bring the foot up, reach around with the left hand, get hold of the right knee, and then turn the chest to face the front. Lift and open the chest. Push the foot firmly into the hand like you're doing Dhanurasana. Lift the chest. And then release. And then again, come down onto your elbows. Create two fists for your hands, but make sure it's the fists are the kind of other way round. So the top fist was the bottom fist before. Just rest your head on the rest your forehead on the fists. Allow yourself to release into the floor. Breathing evenly and deeply. And then lift your head, come up. Just stretch up into the first stage again. Get that really good lift of the front chest. And then bring the palms flat onto the floor. Turn your toes under. And then just walk that back leg in and then come back onto all fours. So a little wriggle in the hips and then sit on your heels, big toes together, knees apart, and then stretch forwards into Adho Mukha Virasana. Lift your head. Keep your right hand where it is. Slide the left arm underneath the armpit, the right side. So we're threading the needle, and then bring your shoulder down, bring your head down. Keep that right hand really extending deeply. And then just feel how you can really open up the shoulder blades. Just gradually turn the chest down to face the floor. So you really open up in the shoulder blades. And then stretch that left arm forwards again. Just come back into Adho Mukha Virasana. And then lift the head, slide the right hand underneath the left arm. So doing the other way around, just bringing that shoulder down onto the floor, resting your head on the floor if you can. Palm of the hand of that right hand reaches up, looks up towards the ceiling. Keep that left arm active. Rolling the chest towards the floor. So we aim to keep the seat bones down on the heels, but it's a bit more difficult when we're here. So just aim to draw them down. The more you work to draw the seat bones towards the heels, the more you open up in the shoulders. Okay, and then just release the arms forwards again, and then come back up into Adho Mukha Virasana. And then just sit back on your heels. And then just come into cross legs for a moment, just directly on the floor, or use a lift if you need it. Just grip around your knees, lift and open your chest, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Get a couple of blocks either side of your hips. So one block either side of your hips for Sukhasana. So lift and open the chest. Bring your right elbow down onto the block. Reach around the underside of the knee, and then just keep the left hand on the hip. Turn the chest to face the ceiling. Try and aim to draw that left seat bone down as evenly as the right seat bone is pressing into the floor. And then reach up and over. Try and keep the left seat bone down on the floor. Breathing evenly and deeply, pressing that left seat bone firmly down. Keeping the lifted arms straight, turning the chest to face the ceiling. And then come back to the center. Just sit in the center for a moment. Just feel the difference in the two sides of the ribs. And then come over to the other side. So elbow on the block on the left side, grip around the underside of the knee. Just keep the right hand on the hip, lift and open and turn the chest, aiming to draw that right seat bone down onto the floor, lift and open the chest, and then drive up with the top arm. Keeping that right seat bone down as firmly as you possibly can. And then come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, lift and open your chest, drive your spine upwards. Take a good, strong, deep inhalation in through the nose. And then turn to the right side, drawing the abdomen across, the ribs across, the shoulders across. And then come back to center. Hold onto your knees, lift and open the chest, drive your spine upwards. And then turn to the left, drawing the abdomen across, digging the back hand into the floor, lifting and opening the chest, turning the spine. and then come back to the center. Hold onto your knees. Lift and open the chest. Draw your chin down to make contact with the chest. So Jalandhara Bandha. And then raise Mula Bandha. So lifting upwards, the anal sphincter up towards the navel and towards the diaphragm. Just breathe evenly, feeling that you're filling the lungs, but also filling the body with energy. Filling the arms and the legs with in-breath energy. And then release Mula Bandha, release Jalandhara Bandha. And then straighten out your legs. And then we're going to go back into Supta Baddha Konasana with the bolster. So have the bolster, have the blanket for your head if you need it. So after we've done not a lot of kind of poses, but we've done some fairly intense poses. So after all of that, your Supta Baddha Konasana should feel really good. Just take your glasses off if you're wearing them. And then allow yourself to release down into the floor. Soften your jaw and your tongue. So just aim for Samavriti breath. So without any major effort, just focus on making the in-breath and the out-breath even. So it's even helpful to count the breath. So if the in-breath lasts for a count of 4, make the out-breath last for a count of 4. Just make both in-breath and out-breath even. Okay, bring the breath back to normal rhythm. Push yourself up into a seated position. Just move the bolster out of the way. Have a blanket underneath your head. You might want the bolster underneath your knees just to let your back recover. So quite a lot of back bending. So just use the bolster underneath your knees if you need it. And then just allow yourself to gently release into the floor. Just let go of the body completely. Just make sure you're in a good straight line. And release. Using the breath to allow the body to release into the floor. As you let go, feel that the positive energy that you've released through your practice rises to the top of the skin. Distribute it evenly throughout the tips of the toes, to the tips of the fingers, top of the head. And then when you're ready, just gently wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers. Just bringing the body back into this pose of Shavasana. Just bend your knees, have your feet on the bolster, just have the knees together, the feet apart, just resting into the floor momentarily. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. Just a little grounding massage. And then just gently roll onto your right side. Stay down for a breath or two. And then stretch out the top leg to come back up into a seated position. Just final cross legs with your hands in the masti, just a final spinal lift. Drawing the breath in through your nose down into your abdomen. Just listening to the sound of the breath as it enters and as it exits. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone. Observe the positive energy you've created through your practice this morning. That lightness, that inner lightness that you release as we stretch out. Acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then gently release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. And as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though you have stretched yourself out, although it feels like we've done maybe much more gentle practice than normal. Looking at my watch, we've done pretty much the same. We've burnt the same amount of calories as we would with just a kind of a full-on practice. So when you focus on the breath, you do kind of there is that more vascular action as well. So it's all good stuff for opening up your energy. So thanks for joining me. Hope you have a good day. Thank you very much.